What's up guys, Zach here. It has been a minute since my last YouTube video, but I decided to do one today because about 3 months ago I decided to start getting into shape, and I made some pretty decent progress. I lost about 20 pounds, and seeing as New Year's is coming up, I decided it would be a great idea to make a video with tips and tricks that I could share with you guys who might have a New Year's resolution of losing a few pounds to you guys. So here goes. First off, I'd like to say that I'm not a professional, so you should take all of my advice with a grain of salt. And secondly, I would like to also add that if you have any underlying health conditions, make sure you talk to doctors and get all that sorted out, and make sure you know your limits and you know what you're doing with your body. So definitely do that first. Losing weight is pretty simple. It's not easy, but it's pretty simple. The most common reason people give up on losing weight is just because they're trying to do it too fast, or they're using methods that don't help the root of the problem. Weight loss is a long process, but when you do it safely and correctly, you can have results at the end that are pretty gratifying. See, the problem is it's pretty easy to sell people weight loss plans and diet plans and exercise plans that don't really fix the root of the problem, and people keep coming back to paying money for those plans, and they never end up getting where they want to get to. When you actually understand what's going on, you can begin to develop habits that in the long run make it easier for you to maintain that healthy weight even when you're not focusing on losing weight. So let's establish a baseline. The best test is a body fat percentage test, but it's hard to get access to a machine that'll measure that for you. So instead, what we're going to use is a BMI test, body mass index. It uses your height and your weight, and that's all it is. And it gives you a number, and it'll put you on a range from underweight to normal to overweight, and you can gauge where you are relatively accurately with that. Now that we have your baseline BMI, go ahead and write that down and we'll save it for later. Now we can calculate your goal BMI. So if you're above the normal range, a good first goal might be to get in the normal range. So go to your height, and most sites have a chart of weights that range inside the normal weights at your height. So go and find the top weight for your height and set that as your goal weight. Now that we've established where we are and where we want to go, let's talk about the methods to get there. Diet and exercise. Now, if you're anything like me, you cringe every time you hear that. Which one is more important for you? Well, if you're talking about health, then the answer is both. But if you're talking about weight loss, then it is 100% necessary to nail down a proper diet. Now, in later videos, I'll talk about where exercise fits in with weight loss. But for this video, I want to focus on diet. You'll hear all kinds of people say you can't out-train a poor diet. And I'll get to the math on that in just a second. You've probably heard of the laws of thermodynamics. They're pretty important to science. For this video, I'm actually going to use the first one. It's the law of conservation of energy. It says that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred from one type to another. So by this, we can know and account for and track each and every calorie that are within a portion of fat. It all comes down to putting yourself into a caloric deficit. All that means is that your body is burning more calories than you're putting into it. Exactly like inches measure distance, calories measure energy. So we can put that into an equation that will help us account for each and every calorie that is coming in and going out of our body. Within each pound of fat is about 3,500 calories. So keep that number in mind as we start looking at this equation.
Luckily, this equation is really simple. It only has 3 variables, which are U, Q, and W. U stands for internal energy, Q stands for heat transfer, and W stands for net work. The triangle in front of the U is a delta, and it means change. So the best way to think about delta U is change in energy, which can be stored in fat, muscle, or tissue. Q is simply the heat that you lose in a normal day, and for the average person, that's about 2,000 calories. Net work is simply work out minus work in. So work out is your exercise, and work in is the food that you eat. Let's go ahead and look at a simple example where we don't lose or gain any fat in a single day. If you want no change in internal energy, delta U is going to be 0. Let's say this person is pretty average and they don't do very much that day. So our Q is going to be negative 2,000 because that's the average amount of calories to burn by bodily functions in a day. Workout would be 0 because they didn't do very much that day. So how much food do they need to eat? Well, that's pretty simple. All they need to do is eat as many calories as they burned that day. So that would be 2,000 calories. Let's take this same person and come up with an example where they would lose some weight. If you remember before, 1 pound of fat is equal to about 3,500 calories. So for this example, let's say we want to lose a pound of fat per week. Now, quick side note, 1 to 2 pounds a week is a pretty good and safe weight loss rate. So for this example, if we take 3,500 calories and divide it by 7 days, that gives us 500 fewer calories per day to eat. So now our delta U is negative 500. And if this is the same person, our Q will still be negative 2,000 and our workout will still be 0. So now he only has to eat 1,500 calories. But what if this person decided that they would rather eat 2,000 calories in a day and do 500 calories worth of workout? What would that look like? Well, let's take a look. So everything here is the same as the first example. Our Q is negative 2,000 and our food is 2,000. So when we stick in that 500 of workout, that means at the end of the day, we'll have burned 500 extra calories. So which option is better, eating 500 fewer calories or working out to burn off 500 calories? Well, take a look at this. Burning 500 calories will cost you about 4.2 miles on the treadmill. On the other hand, eating a small Oreo Blizzard from Dairy Queen will set you back about 550 calories. Do you remember earlier when I said you can't out-train a poor diet? This is exactly what I was talking about. It is super important to nail down a proper diet rather than trying to run and exercise and get those calories off through that method. What I don't want you to hear me say is that exercise is not important for weight loss, because it is. But right now, it's most important when you're starting out to build habits that will help you in the long run, long after you stop losing weight. And in some of my later videos, I'll be talking about some of these habits, where exercise fits in, what type to do, and how much of it to do.
The only thing left to cover, guys, is the fact that everybody's Q is going to be a little bit different. Might be a little bit higher, might be a little bit lower. The easiest way to figure that out, in my opinion, I have this app called MyFitnessPal. You put in your height, weight, your goal weight, how much weight you want to lose in a week, and it will spit every single one of those numbers out. It has lots and lots of foods already pre-programmed in it. It has a barcode scanner. You can scan in the foods that you're eating, and it's just a great way to keep track of all that stuff, and it'll send you notifications reminding you to put all that stuff in there. It'll also, if you put in your weight at a regular basis, it'll show you a graph of where you go. Here's a picture of that now. Couple last quick tips to get you started. Serving sizes are key. You know, it doesn't help you if you're logging 1 serving size and you're eating 2, right? That's calories that are coming in that you're not accounting for. Another thing is start small. So don't try and start out losing 2 pounds a week. You'll crash and burn. So start out just trying to maintain for a week. Then maybe the next week try half a pound. Stay there for a couple weeks, maybe try and move down to a pound. Remember, 1 to 2 pounds a week is a pretty safe way to go about it, but you definitely have to build up to there, or else you'll decide it's too hard and quit, and then it'll all be in vain. Another thing that helped me was to only weigh in about every 3 days or so, because, you know, as you're trying to do this thing of losing weight, weight fluctuates a lot, and it could be just as simple as not going to the bathroom, or maybe you drank a lot of water, and that adds weight, and it's not because you're gaining weight, it's just because it's natural. And so when you have that little bit of a gap in there, it sets the trend on average going down, and it doesn't fluctuate as much, and you don't get discouraged. Definitely drink water. it's super important to drink water as you're doing this. Take it easy in the gym. You're putting your body in stress enough. So be easy, don't push yourself too hard, stay safe and stay healthy. In one of my future videos, I'll be talking about how to eat healthy. Now, what is also important is eating all of the calories allotted for that day. Don't just, if your goal is 1500, don't just get to 1200 and say, I'll stop here and I'll eat a snack tomorrow. That's not how it works. You have to eat your calories to stay healthy because you're already putting your body in a deficit. So you want to put those calories into your body so it can use it. I'm trying to get this video to as many people as I can, so if you liked it, share it, thumbs up, and if you want alerts on when my new videos are coming out, hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.